Hey, this is BugPowderDust. Thank you once again for joining me for another episode in the occasional series Distinctly Average. Today's video is going to be about medium tanks, specifically how to maybe get a little better at medium tanks. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm absolutely not a unicum, I'm not a bluenicum, I think I'm a green or dark green or something like that. But I have slowly been getting better at playing medium tanks and getting better scores in medium tanks. Now, I occasionally have games where I just haven't got a clue and I fail horribly, and I'll be showing you one of those quite soon as an example of what not to do in a medium tank. But let's talk about medium tanks, and if you're watching this video, I guess that you are curious to see what I've got to say about trying to improve in them generally. Heavy tanks themselves are probably the easiest tanks to play in World of Tanks. Certainly the Russian heavy tanks, because they're heavily armoured, they're quite forgiving. They can get some incredible snapshots without being fully aimed in, and I think you generally feel a lot safer. Certainly when I play Russian heavy tanks, I know that I can rely on my armour, not 100%, but certainly rely on my armour to keep me safe to a certain degree. Certainly against newer players who don't necessarily know where the weak spots are, or even what weak spots are. You know, the KV-1, for instance, is a very good kind of go-to tank. You can feel quite safe. Tier 5 tank, you might meet Tier 3 players, they haven't got much of a hope of penetrating you unless they get around to kind of sides or rear, or they're in a tank destroyer or another tank with a high penetration gun. So that's kind of the easiest tanks to play, generally speaking. Then you've got tank destroyers. I'm not going to go through and describe each class because you obviously know what they all are, but medium tanks, they take a bit of finesse, they take a bit of understanding, a bit of game knowledge, game mechanic knowledge, and also map knowledge as well. Medium tanks, it's important to find one you like playing, that you enjoy playing, and you're not just doing it for the grind, to grind through to get to the next one. Now I've generally got German tanks on my tech tree, and I actually went back because I got to the 3002 DB as it was called way back when, and this was before they introduced the 3001D. And you would get to this by going through another route. I think it was the 3601, which led to the 3002D, which then led on to etc. to the Panther 2, I think it was. So I hadn't unlocked the 3001D, but I quite fancied it because it looked like quite a fun tank. So I basically went back and I played the Panzer 3-4 extensively to get the necessary XP that I needed to get the 3001D, because I knew that this looked like a tank I could enjoy. And to be honest, I am enjoying it. It's fun. Not had much time to play recently, but this is a fun tank. It's got a nice punchy gun. It's got it's well angled armor. You can't rely on it in the same way you can with a Russian medium, for instance. But certainly the gun's really nice. 150 pen, 135 damage. The accuracy's okay. The aim time's okay. But I do enjoy playing this. It's a really nice tank to play, and I'll be showing you a video of a game where I had a really good result in it. So it's important that you play a tank that you enjoy. So let's talk about medium tanks. What makes a good medium tank? A good medium tank is one or two of the following: armor, speed, and gun handling. So armor is self-explanatory. If we look at something, let's I don't have many Russian tanks, but certainly, say the Type 59, for instance. It's kind of sloped and it's got quite a nice rounded turret on it, not very conspicuous turret hatches. So in terms of armour, I mean, it's not necessarily the best example. T-54 is probably a good example of a medium with great armour, but I don't have that yet, so I'm showing you this one instead. Certainly the armour can be sort of relied upon when you're doing peekaboo. Speed, pretty good on the whole. And the gun is kind of okay, 181 pen, 250 average damage, which is kind of about the right for a tier 8 medium. If we look at the Panther 2, for instance, which I've recently picked up and I'm started to play through, maybe the Panther 2. So armour, now the Panther 2 has got half decent armour, it's kind of alright. Speed, it's not great, but it has a great gun and great gun handling. So it has two of the three. It's very unusual to get a tank with three of those three: armor, speed, and gun handling. With the Panther 2, I know that I can rely on the gun. If I point it at a target, 9 times out of 10 it's going to hit what I'm aiming at. It's funny because let me just look at the gun here. So the gun, you can see Compared to the T59, it's got 22 more penetration, slightly less damage, but the dispersion is much better, so it's a much more accurate gun, and it's got a slightly better aim time. Which would I prefer to take out? Well, it's different playstyles, and again, this is another thing about medium tanks you need to know. What role are you going to play on the battlefield? Type 59 can be a little bit more of a front-line medium tank, but you certainly wouldn't want to go head-to-head with it, because its armour's good. It's not going to stand up to fighting other tier 8s for a very long period of time. So the Panther 2, for instance, is very much a kind of support medium, if you like. It has got really good view range, and I'm going to come on to that shortly. So you'd play this as a kind of a sit back, and it's got a gun that's built for sniping, so snipe with it. Now when I say snipe, I don't mean sit in your base, protect the artillery, because we've all been there, we've all seen players who do that, and they don't help the game. But pick your shots, support the heavies, you know, let your view range work for you. You don't have to be 50 meters away from a tank in order to spot it. You can be, as you can see, 448 meters away. So, you know, maps vary, different maps allow you different opportunities. So again, another way to get better at medium tanks is know the maps. And this is why medium tanks are for people who've played the game for a while. You know the maps, you know the mechanics about spotting, about sitting behind bushes. It's that kind of thing, which is why medium tanks are a little bit more of an intermediate play. Certainly I didn't understand medium tanks for a very long time, and I'm still not brilliant now. I have my moments. On the whole, you know, I mean, I've played some games this morning, and you can see that I'm averaging 2,000 WN8, and I've only played medium tanks this morning. So I've actually done alright. 6 out of 7 games won, but I don't really look at win rate anymore. It doesn't interest me. I'm more concerned about improving my WN8, because that's a better indication of how I'm playing, how much damage I'm doing, primarily. So yeah, so as I'm saying, find a tank you enjoy playing. Medium tanks, armour, speed, gun handling. Find a tank that has 2 of those 3. Here's a tank that is really disappointing in terms of a medium tank. Super Pershing. It's really slow. It's really slow. So already it doesn't have one of those 3. Its gun, 170 pen. It's lackluster. You really have to know where to aim for weak spots. And if you're fighting at range, you can't aim for those weak spots reliably. The accuracy of the gun is 0.38, which means you have to fight really up close. Now if you're fighting up close, it means that your opponents can aim for your weak spots quite easily. The machine gun port here, and also these 2 commander hatches. So you're kind of stuck. So this tank is not so great at long range. It's great at long range for people firing at you, because they similarly from the front have to find your weak spot. So at long range, this tank's armour is pretty good. When you get up close, it's a different story. So it's slow. It can't disengage from an engagement, and that's another strength of medium tanks, and another way that you need to realise if a situation is going bad, you need to get out, and that's where speed comes in. I'll be showing you a video where I do just that. You need to know when to get out, but also you need to have the ability to do so. The Super Pershing can't get out of a bad situation. It's got really bad side and rear armour, 76 and 50 as you can see. Now the front armour, you may think, well, it's only got 101, what are you talking about? But it is spaced armour here, and this is the armour here on the upper and lower plates is also pretty good, especially if angled. So once the Super Pershing gets itself into a situation on a flank, it can't get out again. That's why this is not a good medium tank. Play it as a heavy, by all means. I don't particularly like this tank. I've played quite a few games in it, but I've got to the point now where I value mobility. I suddenly turned a corner with that, and suddenly tanks that don't have mobility I find super frustrating, which is why I don't really play, you know, tanks like my Jagdtiger anymore. I used to love this tank, but it just can't move very fast. It's so slow and ponderous, and with so many tanks now having such good mobility, and a lot of players playing them as well, it makes tanks like this really quite frustrating to play. So if I'm going to play anything, I'll be playing the E25 quite a lot. But I digress. Now, medium tanks. Let's go back to medium tanks. One of the things that people will tell you to do in a medium tank is basically flank. You know, you can't fight heavy tanks head on, you've got to flank. Well, that's easier said than done, and it's quite a glib response. It's kind of accurate, but it's kind of a glib response with the maps we have in World of Tanks. So really you've got to know the maps. Where should the mediums go? What should your role be on the battlefield? Where do the heavies go? Etc, etc. Once you know this, you know what is expected of you, and how you can make the most of your tank. Let's talk about modules quickly. One of the things that you will find on a medium tank is you're going to earn quite a lot of XP through spotting. Yes, that is light tank's job, but you get very few light tanks really on teams, and generally the ones you get don't live very long. I'm not saying they're not played correctly, but light tanks are really difficult to play. I can't play light tanks very well. I'm the first to admit. I don't have many light tanks here at all. I mean, I do, but nothing of any note here. And on my personal missions, I'm completely stuck on the light tanks. I'm stuck on LT13. I can't get this Stugfall for the life of me. All the others I've done, I'm going to skip the SPGs, but I'm stuck on light tanks because I just can't play light tanks. It's very frustrating for me. So anyway, the point I'm making is that you will get a lot of spotting damage in your medium tank, provided it's got a good view range, which you can enhance using optics or binos, which I don't appear to have on this tank, which is interesting. 7-1. But yeah, anyway, that's for me to look at. The point I'm making here, look at the Panther 2 for instance, it has optics. Its view range is 448. It's absolutely brilliant, and I earn a lot through XP, through spotting, generally. T44, again, optics. Slightly less view range, but one of your jobs on the battlefield is to spot and to be useful and to light up targets for your heavy brothers. Okay, I think that's probably enough for me chatting here. Now let's show you a couple of replays. Firstly, replay where I'm indecisive, I don't make the right play, and it ends quite badly. Right, so here we are in Winterberg. I'm in the Panzer 58 Mutz, which I've picked up recently. Really like the tank, lots of benefits to it, good gun depression, it's quite mobile, nice gun. So I'm looking at this, I look at the chance to win at the top, and it's 28%. So I'm thinking, okay, we've got more heavies than they have, so that's good. We should be okay in the town. And we have a decent kind of medium representation. We've got 3 mediums. But they've got three good players and mediums. So they're going to come, I would have thought, up to the E9, E0 area. So I paused at the start thinking, well, where's everybody going? So we've got 2 mediums and a light going over to the right hand side. Now we've got a CDC, he's a good player. We've got a Cromwell, but it's only a tier 6, and myself. Now I'm not feeling very confident here, so I'm thinking what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit back here and support these guys from here, sniping. Now I don't think this is a very good move. Now when I played this, I was on a bit of a losing streak in terms of both WN8 rating and also games as well. So let me just go to the in-flight mode, and I think I was on a bit of a tilt. So really indecisive play. Now what I should have probably have done is moved up closer, probably into the F9 area. I could have maybe proxy spotted these guys, put on a bit more pressure. Or what I should have done is what I always tell others to do. If the team lemming trains, go with the lemmings. And that was just a bad shot. So I'm really not on my game here. I should have gone into town and helped push the town. And if the guys in the medium, the guys on the right here in mediums break through, we could support the cap, or our cap, from a distance. So I'm being ineffective here. I'm being really ineffective. Meantime, our tier 8 CDC's gone, and their CDC player pushes down heavily. I get spotted. I'm thinking I'm going to get out of here. And this is where I make my second mistake. What I should have kept doing is keep moving. So I snap a shot at the Mutz, it bounces off him, and he bounces off me. Lucky shot. Drive badly into the side of the building. Now what I decided to do here is stop and see if I can hold the flank. Mistake number 2. What I should have done is kept going to the west, joined up with the rest of my team, where our strength is, and maybe hold them off from the distance and perhaps with better cover. So what's happening here is I'm getting hit from behind by the CDC. I miss another shot, very bad, and I'm getting flanked by these guys, and I'm done. There's nothing I can do here. Wherever I go I'm going to die. I haven't done a single shred of damage in this game. And I've played really badly, and I've contributed nothing to the game, and you know, this is really frustrating. Really frustrating for me. I should have got out of there, got back into the kind of J2 maybe area, sniped from the bush, lit these guys up, given the people in town maybe chance to turn around, because they've won town, as I predicted. More heavies, we win town. Maybe they could have come back, but what I did is I did nothing. So I played that medium really poorly. Lesson learned. Right, so here's the next game. We are in the 3001D, which I just really enjoy, as I said in the introduction. El Haluf, the map has improved. Well, I think they've redone it twice, and they finally got it right now. I used to hate this map so much. It was so bad. So I'm going to, because I'm a medium, go over to the kind of H7, J7 area. Now the A43 has just indicated that he's going to do the same, so I say affirmative, and I'm going to accompany him down. Fortunately, I make a clean start, don't hit any other tanks, they don't hit me, and off we go. Now the speed of this tank is okay, like most German tanks, it's kind of middle of the road at everything, and off we go. So I'm really hoping I can get down and up the other side without anybody hitting me. And this really is a dice roll. Fortune favours the brave, as they say. And with medium tanks it's really true, because a lot of the time, like on the map, is it Abbey? No, not Abbey, Mines. You have to get up to the hill, and if you're lucky you get up there in a medium. If you don't, you get shot to pieces and your game ends and you've done nothing. So yeah, but in this case we both make it over to the other side. So the A43 leading the way, and we don't see anything. Now I'm really paranoid that something's going to appear just up there to the bush up to the right, where I'm kind of pointing the camera, and there now that's a favourite place for people to kind of spot and shoot from, but nothing happens, so off we go. Now XVM says we have a 67% chance to win. I only use that as a very, very general guide, because I've won, or not me, we've won quite a few games recently where it's been kind of 20-30%, so I only use that as a general indicator rather than an absolute prediction. So up we go to the top of the hill. This is where you see this tank isn't quite as fast as it could be. So Hellcat YOLO's in, and he's quite a good player, so it's kind of good for this guy to get put down early. So off you go to the top. Now there's no arty on this game, so I'm not going to go arty hunting because it's pointless. I see a Churchill 3 was down there and disappeared, but I'm going to keep moving. Let's see what we can spot. Let's see the state of their deployment here. So I'm going to peek over the top here, but not go too far. I think I'm going to stop here, just have a look at what's going on. So we can see an OI EXP. Just pause the game here momentarily. So we've got an OI EXP. Now, if you come up against these tanks, the OI, the OI EXP, don't be too scared of them. I went through a phase of getting quite frustrated with them, but I know certainly with the OI EXP, is that experimental? I think it is, isn't it? Aim for their tracks, because they have a weak spot. If you can shoot up into the tracks, you will, at worst, track them, at best, track them and do damage. So that's where I'm going to be going. And you can see that later. So we have, it looks like you've got a KV-1 coming back and possibly a Tiger P, so this is not looking great for me and my light and medium friend here. Although we do have an IS coming up the hill. So let's see what I can do. I'm going to keep these guys spotted, as you can see. Spot the KV-1. There's an SU-152 there. Now, he's my priority. Let me go back to sniper mode. I kind of snapped the first shot. This time I'm going to aim. Fire through. I'm going to try and track him this time. Didn't hear any noise, so I don't think he was tracked. So that was unlucky. But you can see the reload on this gun is really impressive. So put a shot through the wall again, and that has tracked him. It's kept him in place. He repairs. I bounce another shot. That's quite frustrating. So I'm not going to get another shot on him. Now we see the Tiger P's come up. Tiger P's turrets are weak. Shoot the turret all day long. And I'm concerned that he might snap a shot and hit me. But he has got a stock turret, so he hasn't got the best gun, I don't think, but I don't know the tank that well. So here we go, and this is what I'm talking about. Look at the situation now. We have me and a light tank. We've got the Tiger P and an OI and an OI EXP. The OI and the Tiger P are rolling in towards us. Now, do we A, stay here, try and slug it out, maybe get 300-400 more damage and then die? Or do we GTFO? And I know that GTFO is exactly the right thing to do if you're in a lightly armoured medium, and that's exactly what I do. Time to get out, so I'm going to just move the camera around, and you can see that we've got this ridge to protect me, so I'm going to get out of here. See, Tiger P rolling up. He would have made Probably short work of me. He does 220 average damage, I think it is. So I'm going to get out of there. And the others would have done well to do the same. But I can be more effective now by going down and round. Let me see if I can just decap. KV-1S bounces off me, I'll get lucky. So I'm going to go round now and push these guys from the back. But before I do that, I need to make sure that this ridge line here in front is not occupied. So I push up. KV-1S, so he's the guy that shot me earlier, that I bounced. So I'm going to try and take care of him first. Looks like he's a primary candidate. And I snap a shot. Goes in. Reload. I thought he was aiming at me at this point, but he wasn't. But I've lit him up, so he's now getting attacked by the people. 20 hit points. So I figure that he's probably going to be a fairly safe kill for the two tanks to his north. So I'm looking around the OI. I'm very concerned that he might be trying to rush me. But I don't think he's noticed me, or if he has, he's not paying me any attention. That's fine. Put a shot to his turret. I think he's overreached now, so I'm going to try and track him. Shot goes a little bit high, but it does damage. And the penetration indicator was orange, so it was not a sure bet that it was going to penetrate. But that's okay. I need to make sure that that KV-1S is dead before I move up, otherwise he can put shots into my back as I try to tackle the OI. So I'm going to keep an eye on him. And he gets finished. So let's push up. And let's try and get this guy. Again, this guy seems to be ignoring me for some reason. So you can see there that I put in a shot through this. Can I zoom in a little bit? Yeah, through this front wheel here. Now this is a weak spot on the OI, so you can track him and do damage. Now, or do damage and do damage. Now in this case, I just did damage. I didn't track him, but I'm going to go for the shot again because he's not giving me any attention. Or he is now, but back up. He hasn't got good gun depression, so let's go for his track. Again, he goes a little bit high, but he's now paying attention to Crusader. Now I track him, and it's a simple job for him to be finished off. Just leaving the OI EXP who's running for it. So I managed to get a shot in, but it bounces unfortunately, but that's okay. And he gets finished off by a big hit from the IS. So you can see there, that was a much better game for me in my medium. I used my spotting, I engaged targets of opportunity. The gun really helped me out, really good gun handling, got some good snapshots in, but also more importantly I relocated when the going got tough. Know what you can hit, what you can damage, what you can trade against, and when to get out. Now I didn't use any of my hit point pool, that's because I don't have a very big one, but using your hit point pool is sometimes a good way of trading if you feel that you can put the other tank out of the game. So knowing when to get out of there is a good thing to do. Right, so the final game, I'm in the tier 6 Rudy premium tank, which is really nice. I love this tank. Now, let me just pause the game. So a quick look at XVM tells us we have a reasonably good chance to win, which means that we can possibly be a little bit aggressive. Now the other thing I said was about knowing the map, and also it was about looking at the team composition. Now, you'll see that on our team we've got a few fast mediums, but we've also got two good players in the A44 and the KV13. So the chances are they know that they need to rush the hill. I'm going to rush the hill because the hill is key in this map. Whatever mode that you're in, he who controls the hill pretty much controls the game, with obviously exceptions, but generally speaking that's what happens. Now on their team they have T-34-1, which is kind of okay, it's not that fast. The Easy 8 is a faster vehicle, could contest the hill, and the 3002M I don't know a lot about, I don't have the tank. I don't think it's that quick though. So we stand a good chance of taking the hill, so let's play the game. I'm just going to skip it on a little bit and speed things up. There we go. So there's a little bit of a squeeze. I'm thinking, well, that slowed me down a little bit. So, however, I'm counting on the A44 to come up to the hill with me, and maybe the Crusader. But most of all, I don't want them to block me. So off we go, and I'm realising that the A44's gone off to one side, but that's okay. I'm still going to go for it anyway. What the hell? And this is the point where you can really mess this up, and you just die straight away. You get tracked and take a big hit. But none of their mediums went for the hill. Just their heavies. So I spot them. Unfortunately the Crusader gets caught. And sadly he gets killed. That's what I'm talking about. You play the game, you know, and you go for it, and you could end up with your game ending in 20 seconds. So I'm in a relatively good position now, but I know for a fact there's a TD there, as we can see. So let's put some shots in. So what I love about the Rudy is that it can do almost 200 average damage if you get good rolls, and tier 6 is really impressive. So I'm being a little bit careful here, because the spotting in this game is sometimes a little bit funny. The Stora Emil there as well as the Nashorn. So I'm going to try and hit the Stora. A little bit of a cheeky shot. There we go. Get a critical hit on him. Putting a blind shot as well, just because why not? They don't move that quickly. So I'm a bit reticent here about moving out. Let me just pause the game. What I like to do is come out round here and then put shots into these guys, the IS-2, the EZ-8, but I can't do that yet because the TDs are still up here, and also there's an OI up there as well, and I don't want to get hit by him, thank you very much. So I'm going to try and go for his track, but I really messed that shot up. However, I think it's me that's spotting him. I'm pretty sure it's me spotting him, so that's okay. We're going to spot him up, let the artillery maybe have a pop. Now I've loaded premium here because I don't feel confident I can get through this guy, but that's okay. So I switch back to armor piercing, and I'm thinking this is actually probably a good time to move around now because these guys do need my help. So here we go. And I have a bit of a moment here where I'm thinking, but I'm aiming too low, but I'll quickly recover. A shot to the EZ-8 who's not firing at me. Let's take that gun out of the game, and now I can concentrate on the heavies. So it's almost like the IS, let me just zoom out, it's almost like the IS-2 knows what's going on here. He spotted the fact that we've got two friendlies coming around, so he's getting out. He's a good player, he's seen the difficulty, he doesn't want to get shot from the back. So I can't get shot on the KV-85, so I'm going to move forward a little bit. Is he pointing at me? No, he's pointing forwards. Go for his hatch. Good shot. And again, take another shot, thank you. Back of the hatch, that'll do. Oh, take a hit from 3002M. I'm going to get out of here. Making sure that I can't be hit from behind by the TDs. So I'm just going to see if I can get a shot on the Nashorn, which I had to snap it. It was never going to hit him, but yeah, you know. Maybe I can get another lucky shot. Maybe not. So at this point of the game, I'm thinking, oh, and I actually thought they had much less tanks than they actually do. So I was thinking, well, we've pretty much cleaned up around here. There's two TDs in the north. That means a lot of their tanks must be over on the left. So at this point, I'm thinking, well, maybe some of the tanks are actually over on the east. I can't get a good bead on any of those tanks due to the rocks being there, so I'm going to go and check out the far side. I can't get any hits on these guys easily from there, so I'll back up a little bit. Shot to the Stora. Those guys get taken down. So I'm going to have a quick look over on the east hand side. That's terrible grammar. On the east side of the map. Now, so I click it just to kind of indicate, guys, we've left the flank wide open. But as it turns out, it doesn't seem to be anything over here. But I couldn't see all of the tanks on the map, so I thought I'd just sort of check. And I can't really see anything, so I'm going to relocate now. And that kind of cost me the rest of the game, but I'm kind of doing my job as a medium. So let me just speed things up. I don't think anything else happens in this game that I'm kind of involved with. No, it doesn't. So that's that. I think a Churchill comes across here. That's right, no. I'm not going to give anything away. Let me just speed up the game. Here we go. So I put a shot to the Churchill. Managed to track him, do a small slice of damage, and he gets killed before I get the reload. So the RT is going to die, and I don't have any involvement with that. But that was a good example of pulling your weight as a medium. You know, you went up on the hill, we did some spotting, and we did exactly what we needed to do. So that was a good game. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed those 3 replays and it's given you an idea, maybe a better idea perhaps, or if not, just some entertainment. And you know, that's how mediums need to be played. You've got to kind of pick your fights. Don't go up against heavies generally unless you feel you can take the heavy out of the game, maybe trade some hit points. I think the thing with mediums is that you need to know the game, need to know the game mechanics. You are taking calculated risks the whole time you play, especially if you're playing in mediums without any armour. And to be honest, most mediums these days, they don't have armour worth a damn, because Guns have got really good. There's been a power creep, and there's a lot of high-powered guns and certainly premium ammo in the game. So stay hull down as much as you can. Stay hidden. Use the bush spotting mechanics, and more importantly, find a tank you enjoy and play it because you enjoy it, not because you're grinding through. What I would recommend is use your XP to unlock stuff, because medium tanks which don't have the best engine or the top gun are going to be a real massive drag to play, and you're going to get so disheartened. I would just recommend that you know, when you get your tank, use free XP, get the best engine, or sorry, tracks probably, get the best engine, best gun, because once you do that, you're going to start enjoying yourself a whole lot more, and just free XP. And if you need to spend gold to you know, convert some free experience, do it, because you'll be spending what, £1, £2, or whatever your local currency applies, to enjoy the game a little bit more. The whole thing about World of Tanks is about managing your frustration with the game, and if you've got a tank that's fully upgraded, then your frustration can be maybe turned on yourself. Maybe you're not playing as well as you could be. And medium tanks, as I said, it's all about calculated risk. It's about view range, it's about, you know, speed, when to relocate, and to basically take advantage of your strengths. You've got view range, use it. So I'm not going to go on for too much longer. I'm going to end it there, in fact. So I hope you found this useful. If you have any comments, then obviously please let me know, and any comments that you think may help any other viewers. So I hope this has been of some use. If it has, then please leave a like or leave a comment, or do both, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you.